After 45 years of drifting deeper into the abyss, Voyager, humanity's most distant and solitary machine, has done something no one imagined. It didn't physically turn around, but the data it sent home carried a strange fingerprint, a reflection, a loop, a distortion hinting that it had encountered something utterly foreign. The spacecraft's aging systems appeared momentarily disoriented, but what followed wasn't a glitch. It was a whisper from the far edge of space, eerily aligned with the fear scientists had quietly harbored for decades. Voyager 1 might have crossed a boundary that wasn't supposed to exist, and in doing so, revealed that we may not be as alone in the dark as we thought. The story begins in 1977, when two spacecraft, Voyager 1 and Voyager 2, left Earth armed with vintage electronics and human ambition. Designed to last just 4 years, they far outlived their expected lifespans. They sailed past Jupiter, Saturn, and the outer planets, collecting priceless data with less memory than a pocket calculator. Gravity assists hurled them through the solar system like acrobats in slow motion, sending back images of alien moons, rings, magnetic fields, and the faint vibrations of plasma waves. Over the decades, engineers shut down heaters, cameras, and instruments to save power, each shut down a quiet farewell. But still, Voyager 1's voice carried on. Until recently, when it changed. The edge of the Sun's influence, the heliopause, was thought to mark a clean division between the solar wind and the interstellar medium. Voyager 1 crossed it in 2012, 120 times farther from the Sun than Earth. But something was wrong. The density of particles increased as expected, but the direction of the magnetic field barely shifted, a violation of every model. Voyager 2 later found the same thing, raising the unsettling possibility that the interstellar medium was far more structured and controlled than random physics should allow. Then in early 2024, a transmission arrived that shook the deep space network. It wasn't noise. It wasn't a normal fault. The stream contained corrupted telemetry, repeated codes, and resets in systems that weren't even programmed to behave that way. Backup hardware was switched on, but the anomalies persisted. Engineers dubbed it a reflection loop, as if Voyager had sent a signal into a place where it bounced back, altered by something that wasn't empty space. One analyst described it as shouting into a canyon that shouldn't exist and hearing your own voice returned, reshaped by another breath. The team cross-checked the interference against cosmic ray levels, plasma patterns, and the decay of the solar wind. The results were disturbing. The distortions matched a sudden surge of galactic cosmic rays that should have been blocked by the heliosphere, but instead seemed to be directed. A kink appeared in the magnetic field, something twisting space in a way no natural process could explain. Theories ranged from dense plasma pockets to exotic, artificial field structures. What everyone agreed on was that the rules of space beyond the heliopause were not what we thought. Voyager's once predictable transmissions had taken on an uncanny quality. If not intelligent, they felt deliberate, and that possibility alone unsettled even the most skeptical engineers. Weeks later, NASA issued a tightly controlled statement confirming partial signal restoration but offered no explanation for the repeated loops or strange telemetry. Privately, the Jet Propulsion Laboratory assembled a classified task force, drawing in experts in AI signal analysis, quantum field theory, and deep space astrophysics. A leak from inside suggested the most startling detail yet. The transmission contained oscillation patterns at frequencies Voyager should not be capable of producing. Whether this was the result of an unknown natural phenomenon or an intentional act from beyond remains unclear. But one fact is certain. Voyager may have touched something at the edge of interstellar space that defies everything we thought we knew. For nearly half a century, Voyager has drifted through the void, our furthest, loneliest outpost in the dark. Now, something has changed. The signal it sends back is no longer the steady, predictable stream we've known for decades. It's warped. Distorted. As if something out there has grabbed hold of it, or is quietly riding along with it. The strangest part? The anomalies began right after the spacecraft passed through an unexpected drop in cosmic radiation. That should have nothing to do with Voyager's internal software. But what if something out there had briefly shielded it? Or worse, examined it? Physicists began digging into its flight path and environmental readings. What they found was unsettling. Tiny but consistent deviations in trajectory, impossible to explain using gravity from any known object. Some whispered about dark matter. Others suggested gravitational lensing from something we've never seen. And then came the most disturbing possibility, an obscure model proposing that Voyager had crossed into a kind of space-time distortion. Not a black hole, not a wormhole, but something new. A hidden seam in the fabric of reality where information loops, matter changes behavior, and time itself runs differently. If true, it means Voyager may have slipped into a region of the universe where our laws of physics no longer apply, and where something else might follow rules of its own. Then the anomalies began to synchronize. Millions of miles away, Voyager 2, traveling on a completely different path, began showing the same strange glitches at nearly the same moments. Identical shifts in signal timing, radiation levels, and magnetic field readings. The odds of this happening by chance were astronomically low, unless they weren't separate events at all. Unless both Voyagers had entered the influence of something vast and unseen. A structure big enough to touch both ships at once. Not a region, but a perimeter. And if there's a perimeter, there's a center. And whatever's at that center may have just realized we're here. The tone inside NASA's corridors shifted. People who once scoffed at the idea of artificiality now hesitated. Veteran engineers admitted the pattern didn't feel mechanical, it felt responsive. The reflection loops, the synchronized distortions, the twisted magnetic fields, they all pointed to one possibility: intervention. Manipulation. As if Voyager wasn't simply drifting anymore, but had been folded into something else's experiment. Something that has been waiting for decades for us to cross an invisible line. For years, Voyager was our golden record in the dark, literally carrying our greetings, our music, and our hope that somewhere, someone might be listening. But no one expected an answer like this. Because what Voyager has found, or what has found Voyager, isn't just the edge of space. It's a place older and stranger than we imagined. A place where the rules break, where time twists, and where the silence itself seems to watch you back. When that distorted signal came home, it wasn't a malfunction. It was a reply. The kind that doesn't use words. The kind that says, in its own quiet way, "We've seen you." Scientists can argue about models and redact their reports. But they can't take away the truth that Voyager may have crossed a threshold we didn't know was there. The edge of the solar system might not be an edge at all. It might be a doorway. And someone, or something, just unlocked it.